All right, welcome back. So today we are going to be, let me X this out so we can start from fresh. Okay, and let's put this up here so we're starting from fresh. Okay, welcome back. Today we'll just be going over just the overview of the program interface just to kind of get ourselves familiar with that. We'll go here. So pretty much this is the program overface. Everybody who uses a doll kind of have an idea. So that's why this is now for intermediate to advanced. These are just people who are trying to figure out how to get started, like you, Nathaniel. So we're going to be going through just this area specifically and kind of get a feel of things. So with that being said, let's switch back over here. Usually a program will start out like this. As the last time we'll go here to kind of get our audio set up. Whatever you're using will pop up here, and you can go ahead and pick the appropriate one. Now, in future, we'll probably get into a little bit more detail because there are sometimes you pick something that does not work with your microphone, and your microphone may not be working, how to get it to record and so forth. And because I have audio, you have a setting to pick the device that that works for you, which would be any one of these. You could use this um, this Razer Siren microphone, which I'm using to talk through right now. Other than that, this is the monitoring screen. This doesn't really give you a whole lot of detail, but just what you start off with. And usually when you get the program, you will have like a demo version of just to kind of see how they lay their songs out. You can go to the mixer, see what they use, but you have to keep in mind as well. You don't know if they use external the audio went through some external uh, uh, devices before coming into the computer. So I mean, if you have the money, that's a different story. But you know what? Let's get started. Let's get started. So let's just say you came in and you're starting for the first time. You may want to pick a multi-track. You might want to pick. You can decide what you want, or you can already, if you know you're gonna start making beats and making some creative stuff, you can start with 16 midis. The audio track doesn't really matter because you might record later. You can still add more tracks. It's up to you. If you're coming in just to do a voiceover and stuff like that, if you're just gonna talk, you can do a 2-track and an aux to kind of send a, reverb or whatever too. So I'm not gonna explain each one of them. We're just gonna go ahead and pick. Let's pick a new session. We'll leave that old one behind. But we're going to use the old one just because it's going to have us open a whole new, try to save and open a whole new folder. So let's just say we pick this and we came to the screen here. Okay, so now we have to try to understand what this screen is, how we can maneuver around. We all know what we do here. We know what these are for, but that's just kind of, it's benefit that we go through the manual step by step and get an idea. Okay, so up here at the very top, that's the title bar. According to Samplitude, their title bar will have the name of the program, which is Samplitude Pro X8. Okay. At the program name, then you have the sample rate, which is right here, 44,100 kilohertz, hertz. And then it says the length of the current project. So altogether, that's the length of the project. And it's also going to have the project name as well. It doesn't have that in the manual, but as you can see for yourself, that's the name of the project. Is the sample rate is 64, sorry, and 64 bits. I apologize about that. And then you have the actual your whatever you save it as, whatever the project name is, will be this, and then that will be the length of the the entire project. So that's the title bar. Then you come down to the menu bar. You have your file, and where you want to start a new virtual project, you can just click that, and it will bring this option up. You can save the name of what you want it to be, and then you can pick. It's actually nice to do this as well because you can also pick the same thing. So either way you want, or you can start your own. You can pick, let's just say you want to customize it. You can do that as well. You can pick custom, and then you can go ahead and pick how much and so forth. So that's creating a new project. You can import You know, you can load your audio file from somewhere. What I usually do if I'm bringing in a WAV file or MP3 or whatever I'm doing, I just drag and drop right into the software. Like, for example, if I'm using, if I have this, now I'm using that, I just drag and drop it right in, and automatically it does that perfectly for any waves, because this is a wave file that I just load in here, and boom, it's in there, and I can go ahead and do what I need to do, lock it so that I can move forward no matter what I do. It won't go anywhere. It stays within line. And remember, we talk about that comping. This is a great tool for that comping. When you lock it, when you cut anywhere, no matter when you lock it. For example, let's go to cut mode. Cut mode. So that just say I chop it here, I chop it there, I chop it there, I chop it there, and I want to chop it here. Whenever I want to do, then I go back and change from. I wish there's a way for me to just do that faster instead of having to go up there. Maybe we might. You just never know. They might show us some shortcuts when we start working with objects. That would be great. I'm looking forward to that as well. Universal mode. So let's just say I cut on different tracks. So what I should have probably done, that's Control Z. Let's just say I had boom, boom, I had 3 of this ones. Now you see that this is moving because it's not locked, it's not in place. So I had to make sure they're in place. So if I lock them, and I decided to go ahead and cut. Cutty. I cut, and it will cut for all of them. Well, the one you highlighted over. There's a way if you highlight all of them, it should cut all of them. So I just cut there, and let's say I want to cut here, and here, and here, and here. Actually, maybe I should cut them evenly. Okay, so that's Shift, Control Z. Let's just cut them here, 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 here. And I say I want to come. Even though I didn't cut it perfectly, let's try to zoom in. Even though I did not cut it perfectly, but this is just an example. And I want to combine, let's change the mouse to universal. And let's just say I want to combine some portions of this with that one. Let's say I want to move this one here, and I want to move this one up here. This one here, I want to move it up to combine that portion. And then let's say I don't like this portion right here, and I want to move this one out, and I want to put this one here. This is my definition of comping, and it's useful to move this file because they're locked, so that the locked ones does not move direction. So I didn't like this one, but if I was to, of course, it would be better to do it when it's locked, so it move up and down without moving anywhere. So just something to think about. Control Z. And that's easier too. We'll get to that. It's also easier. Let's go to redo. Edit. Go to undo history here. You have a list of all the things that you have done, all the stuff that you have undone. So let's just say it was here that you were at. Drag and drop. You click back. Depending on you want. This is where we were. So it's kind of useful so that it has a list of all your undo, so you can just click at it to know where you're at. That's also nice. Okay, so we're just gonna go back to button fader, no, drag and drop, and we're gonna say okay. So we're back here. Let's zoom back in. So I'm gonna like when we get to the part to understand when you come down, it changes. You see it changes and you come down. Okay, so that would be awesome to kind of know what to do there. So back to the menu bar, you have your import, low audio. You can do sound designer too. That's awesome, isn't it? We'll learn more about that because I don't even know about that. You can import as drums. Wow. Low MIDI file, low video file. So that means we can do video in here. Let's see if we can load a video file. That would be nice, right? Let's go to D. Let's go to Let's go to my OBS. We can do that. Let's say we want to load. Let's see. Let's say we want to load this one here. Okay. Let's see if we can open. Would you like to load the audio track from the video? Yes. Let's see what happens. I never tried this before. This is what we're learning, right? And this might take a while. Let's see. 5 years later, it's still loading. It's getting there. So sample rate, load, blah, blah, blah. So object sampling real time. Okay, load. Let's see what happens. So, oh. So this stuff, this guy, you can do your video in here. I don't know what they got a video software for. So we can do a lot in here. This is gonna be awesome. I never knew that. Let's see if we can drag and drop. Oh my goodness. I did not even know it could do that. Look at me. Nice. Nice. And it separated the audio. Man. I don't even get that in Video Pro X. Let's try to see if we can oh. Oh. Trying to see if I can copy it. Control. Oh, I don't think I can copy it because it's a video file, so I had to have a video thing. Okay, that's okay. That is fine. I can work with that. I never knew I could do that. So yeah, now you get an idea. You can just that's why it's good to go to the menu, because you never know what you could learn if you never take the time to. Now I'm curious to click on sign design, but we're just going to try to get to the interface quickly and then we'll move forward. So you can upload from a CD, from a DVD. You can import AAF and OMF. We're going to get to understand what those are. Save project as. So I can actually delete this now because it's, as much as I like seeing myself. Oh, wow, that's so nice. That is so nice. Actually, you know what? Let's see if we can copy that. There's no option to copy. Anyway, let's just delete. It doesn't want to go anywhere. Oh no. Ah, it was more than one. Okay. All right. So back to what we're saying. So you can save project as. You can save project copy somewhere. You can export, and we went to export already because you got the option to add more files there. That would be awesome. You can export with presets. That would be interesting. We'll get to know more about that. Export video. Wow. Export MIDI. Nice. Advanced export. So you have a choice. Now, when we start becoming more intermediate, when we start learning our DAW and start working it and having fun, the whole goal is to know enough of it so it can be fun. It won't be frustrating. We'll get to know all these little things because we have to go to the menu. Hopefully explain it. If not, we'll research them. We can do cleanup and backup. We can kind of go to those on a better time. We'll probably make a specific video for that. Close project. I mean, usually I just press the X, but you can do that right here. And like I was saying, when you open your project, you usually, since you don't get a lot of option on the start menu, you can come here to this project properties is mostly for like setup. But if you want your audio settings, you want to come to system audio. You have system audio, playback options, various speed and scrub. We're going to have to figure what that is. MIDI options, metronome options, advanced buffering setting. That would be nice to know because I'm starting to buffer a little bit, especially when I start adding more plugins. When I start adding more than like 15 plugins, then all of a sudden the guys are slowing. Then I gotta increase the buffer size to like 1024, 1056 or whatever. But yeah, yeah, we'll get to know a lot of these things. When this is not really what we're here for, but like I was saying, if you want to get your project going, you come to system audio setup. That same thing that we were looking at, but then you get a little bit more advanced stuff. You got audio devices. That's how you get whatever it reads, whatever audio interface you have, it will read right there. Then you have your MIDI. For me, I have the platform. You know, I bought this piano, but I never learned how to play the piano, so I didn't really get to use it. Let me turn it on, just so we can have that on right now. Um, wow, that is. Then you have set some settings here that I don't play with. I just don't touch, and I had to add in my control surface, the icon platform, and plus I think I'm imagining trying to either extend this or probably get a mixer that has some, when I become an intermediate, when I can be verified by others, because for me personally, I feel like I do adequately well compared to a lot of other intermediate to advanced people in some things. But when I find myself qualified, I might try to get me a mixer that has some really nice analog effects with a controller setting, control surface setting, so I can control my mixing button with. Oh, there's something I shouldn't have done, but because I click M. So let's see if I click ish. Ah, that is nice. So based on the first letter of the, if you click that on your keyboard, it goes to it. So if I press P, it will go to performance. That is nice. Okay. So if you press A first twice, it should. Oh, that one does not work. But yeah, so we have MIDI. We got a hardware controller. Hardware controller. Let's exit out of here. So you see, I got it's a Magix control, but it's platform M plus. I don't have any other except for the MIDI devices. I mean, it's not really what we wanted to come, but I just want to show you something. Then the metronome option that they were telling you about, recording option, recording 24-bit, 934, 932, and most of the things I don't really touch. Some of the things you just want to leave alone, then they'll create problems. When things doesn't work, don't just change things. Try to understand the basics first. And you got playback. For my playback, I mean, there's not really much I do except for down here. It will automatically populate anyways. Once you change stuff up in the audio setting, you put your R0 and you go into control panel and try to get that set up. Okay, program, you got the general information. I'm not going to go through that. This is just where we were. This way your project file is going to save, and I got mine there. And then the download, of course, temporary files goes there. Actually, I'm not ready to go through all this one yet because this is just an overview of the interface. But I just wanted to show you, if you want to get working right away, you can come to audio setup and get your thing set up, get your audio devices set up. You know where to go to get that. Other than that, more low project with VST plugins. I mean, if you have, so if somebody send you a project and is of this project, and then it had their own settings and everything, and you have to have that same VSTs as well, and it will also, I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. It will populate. And down here, just the recent stuff that you have been opening. Then you go over, you got the edit menu. The edit menu, you got your mouse mode. I'm pretty sure there should be a faster way, but these are all the different kind of mouse mode that you have. Then you have your object mode, normal object mode, link onto silence. It got different things that we can go over at a later time. You got snap active. I'm not sure what snap active is, but if you ask me what snap is when you're snapping something together, like, you know what I'm saying, bringing it together. So I'm pretty sure we'll figure what that is. And we talk briefly about the undo. To really get up, maybe you press delete several times and you don't know when to redo, you can go to the undo history. If you want to delete your undo history, you can delete that, but then you will not know, of course. Then you have your copy, of course. You got your cut, you got your split. I mean, if you want to press cut, you got to have your area on the on the bar there, and then you press cut, split, paste, delete, other usual tempo. Okay. Range. We'll talk about range later on as we continue to go into the software. We'll continue to figure out how to set range and how to use range. Range, I feel like it's really good doing mixing and mastering, because then you get to know a different portion of the song. Maybe you might want to add like a tremolo, add like the bridge, or maybe you might want to add like a heavy delay at a specific point of the vocal or some instruments in that range, so that when that piece ends, then you have the in that specific area you have to delay continue to go. Right now I'm just mixing at a basic. We haven't gotten into advanced where we use all these features yet. We're just doing basic stuff, but we have the ideas and we want to know our DAW so we can have fun. That's the whole purpose of doing this stuff, is to have fun. If we're gonna use our vanity to do this stuff, let's have fun. Crossfade, we'll touch base more about that, and then you got batch processing, and then we got range editor and so forth. We won't go over the tracks. Pretty easy. You can insert, add one, several, insert. What you had to kind of get familiar with. I mean, you can do your MIDI as well. You can also enter a new tempo track. I never tried. Let's try that right now. Oh. We'll have to learn how to use that. Okay. But anyways, back to what I was saying, is one of the things you have to start getting used to is inserting a sharp mix and aux bus. You'll do that a lot if you want to mix, or even if you're making instruments and you want to add effects like delays and reverbs, those things that are used often, you will want to get yourself an aux. Okay. Other than that, we continue going. You got the same thing, a copy paste. You can copy a track and paste it, duplicate the track. We'll get more into that when we're working with probably the mixing window. We'll try to understand all these other type of things. You can delete one and so forth, but it must be highlighted. Then you can delete it. Track type, of course. This one's audio. You can do the same thing. You can do mix bus, aux bus. And then you have input, mono stereo or mono in stereo FX. Let's see. You can group tracks controls together. One of the problem I had with this software is that when I group stuff on the mixer and I'm trying to control the volume with the keyboard, they don't all work at the same time. They go at different levels, and sometimes they, like for example, let's open up the mixer menu here. Okay, this is the mixer, and let's say that from here to here, okay, oh sorry, from here to here, oh, it's my shift control not push. Okay, let's just say I'm trying to move all of them at the same time. What happens is that sometimes when I try doing that, they don't work very well. They work on their own time. Like one might be going faster than the other. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really like that. I'm just moving one thing though, but I want it all to move at the same time on an equal level. Doesn't always work like that, because especially if I want them to be at the same volume, and then you got one going out of whack. Like for example, if I'm see the last two on the end here are moving faster than the others. I think there's a way to work on that. We'll figure that out at another time. But anyway, let's continue. And we were at with the input, okay, grouping. We thought that's what we were. Track visibility ranger, we're going to talk about that. Track size, you can, as you can see, this is pretty much at a very minimum. This will give me the color. So if I was to go, let's close this up. Okay, it's the same thing here. If we do that, we click on our arrow, we can get to maximize it, we can get to minimize it, we can get to, yeah, so you kind of get the idea. and it's the same thing pretty much up here. Then you got the track freeze, but that's not effective right now. Then track effect setting, so you have your choices to the effect routing, plugin browser, and so forth. Then you have show tick lanes. Let's click that. This is the one I had clicked on. This is the lane I'm guessing right here. This dark line. What is the tick lane good for? I'm not sure. Then you have or just a tick lane. Okay, so we can undo that. Then we'll have revolver tracks. New you want new empty revolver track, new revolver track, delete revolver track. That's another thing we'll figure more about. And then more is just your typical cut track color, and you can get the track color right there on the main screen anyways. The track properties, you can get that in the track anyways. The pan and stuff, you can get that in everything right there in the first place. We go over to objects. This is just pretty much working with object editor, MIDI editor, edit audio data. We can do some wave editing, edit a copy of wave content, edit root in VIP. If you notice that if you double click this before, if you double click it, it used to take, okay, let me right click and go to object editing right here. If I was to, I think they changed that now, huh? Because I used to, when I used to open this up, it will open a separate window of where you can get, but now you see how fun this is as well. We will talk about this one later on as time goes ahead, because you can put in plugins, you can do panning to the specific track real time. It doesn't affect your mixing thing. It's just real time, right directly on the objects. So sometime maybe you want to, like I was telling you, you create a range in that specific area. You want to do an automation of your pan to the left, you want to do your automation pan to the right, back and forth, and so forth. And and yeah, you can do that. So, and you still have your EQs and everything. That would be awesome. We will get to that later on. Okay, so we can do more object editing, select objects, groups, lock objects. We'll show you how to lock the object just by clicking that lock button. Hotspots, we can set a hotspot. We can change the color of the object. If we change it, I think whatever color you pick, it should be the object, but we'll learn more about that. You have to freeze object as well. We have what you call remix agent, wave color, audio search, time stretch, pitch, patch, and more. Okay, we'll get to understand more. This is mostly just for playback. You can play once, play loop, play range, play preload. A lot of this stuff will be, you won't be going here for a lot of these things, but it's just good to know what the menu offers. So if anything, you can go back in the video and try to find it. You can play, cut. You can actually, as it says, play to cut, start. You can put an in point, you can put an out point, and so forth. Stop and go to current position. That's something we're going to learn a little bit more about in the future. Playback mode, that's the playback mode that we have here. We have playback options. You press P for that. The record, of course, you press R to record, or you can come here, which is irrelevant. You got record mode, punch in to set up something a little bit more for your recording. Record option, we can click on that, but it will just kind of give you, sometimes you can decide after you finish recording, instead of they asking you would you like to keep it, it can just automatically store it to the project window. Monitoring, we can explain a little bit more when monitoring time coming around. Monitoring section, we can try to do that when that time comes around. Move player cursor to the beginning, to the end, to the range start. You have different ranges and so forth, so you can kind of do all that. markers, setting markers to know where you want to do something specific or where there's a change, or maybe you want to cut something out or add something in. So that's what those could be useful for, to kind of give you a marker. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much. And then insert retrospective MIDI recording mode, and MIDI panic off. So we did that. Automation. Automation, we're not really going to take our time to go through all that because it's a lot to figure out. But you just know that you have all these options here, so that you can be able to do a lot of different things. Um, Now, yeah, this is how you set your milli control. By the way, nice, for my Mackie, my platform. All right, and then we'll have effects. So this is all your real time effects, normalizer. So your for amplitude, dynamics will be your compressors and so forth, and of course your frequency will be your EQs and so forth, delayed and reverbs, and everything here will be real time. It will be affected directly on the project. Okay. All right, we can go forward. We got CD, DVD. This is if you want to import from CD or import from DVD, or you want to make a CD. Like if you want to you work on a project and you want to make a CD. Okay, we can talk more about that when that time comes around. Set CD track index, set CD submix. Yeah, we can go through all this one when that time comes around. View is pretty much what you get to see. Okay, so for your view, you press M for your mixer, your monitoring section, Shift M, all these stuff. You can just kind of browse through it and get familiar. A lot of the things we'll get to know a lot of when we get started. This is just getting to know the software. And we already discussed the help button. This way you get your menu. This way you search for help. This is the README. If you need any support, if you click support, like I told you, you go and click on there, it will take you to the right page. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire menu, the menu button. So the next one we have is the toolbar. Okay, the toolbars, which is the toolbars are up here. Okay, you're gonna have your new projects to start a new project. Okay, and then this one is to load. Yeah, load a project. This one is to save, I believe. Oh no, it's importing, to import audio. So that's why it's good to kind of click. This is the save button. Sorry, you can go to save project copy, and then this is your mouse mode. So if you click here, I'll have to go to the next screen because it shows over to the next screen. Don't know why. Um, see, um, let's see if I click the mouse mode. You see here. I don't know why it does that. Why it could pop up on this side. But yeah, so these are your different options that you have for that. Let's go back. And we have, I don't know why it show up on this side. If you were to click on this, you have lag all audio in time. You know what that means. Um, Normal object mode. So, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. We can even get more into details once we get to that stage. We have, let me get out of this real quick. Go back to the screen here. All right, so look at that. It looks like a crossfade, look like an X, and then this one, of course, oh, let me click. I want to click that on again. Just open up the. Let me grab this right here. Let's just say we're trying to get a good fade in and so forth. This is not the time. We're not going to really work on this right now. This is when we start getting more advanced. We know our DAW. We know everything about it, and then we can kind of use that. And then this one is just what is it? This one, well, we have, if we have multiple items and we want to group the objects together, multiple of these, and we want to group them together, okay? Sorry, this one right here. If you want to group them together, you click that. That just say you have, you highlighted about 6 different objects and you want to group them together so that every time you click on that one object, every one of them are highlighted at the same time. So that's, and then this will ungroup them. So then you have, undo. You can click down here and kind of get an idea of your undo, like how you go up here and you go to the delete history. You can just click here and yeah, this is redo, of course, and then you can click on that and go down and see what you need to redo. This is spectral mode. So this mode, I go. Actually, I'm gonna try to probably work on that a little later so we can understand. Let's open. Actually, I think I went a little too far into this. We can I get spectral mode. We're not going to work with that mainly until we get to intermediate to pros so that we can kind of get an idea. Sorry, click on this one. Now this is a special mode for placing new objects with like CD pause and exchanging CD tracks, you know. Now this one is to set a marker. So for example, if I wanted to set a marker here, I just click on it, that's marker 1. If I came here, I'll click on it, that's marker 2. If I came here and I click on it again, that's marker 3, and so on and so on. So now, as we can, I wish there was a shortcut to, but I'm pretty sure there is. And then you have, this one is to set a CD track index. We'll do that at a later time in our learning. Set the CD sub index. This is to set CD pause index. This one is to this one here. This one is to set the end of the CD index, and of course this one auto CD track index. Oh, that's kind of stink. This is, of course, make a CD. We were talking about that earlier. We'll click up on that on this right here to do that, and DVD, of course. So now we're going. This is just to play once. This is to play the entire loop. We can either do that with a space bar as well, and then this is just to play the intro loop. So if you create an intro loop, you can just press and play that, and then this one is to stop playback. Okay. So now that we're done with that one, this one we have the snap on and off to the grid, of course. So sometimes you can either have it to beat or bar, snap the beats, snap the beat, snap bar relatively, and we can do full bar. And so we can set this stuff when we get into that. We just want you to know the basics, and then of course this is quantizing. Based on if you're playing live and it's not in, or you can quantize it to be more close to the grid. And if you want to search for anything, you can search for it here. So that's pretty much the 2 bars. That kind of took us a little bit. I didn't expect that it was going to take this long just to go to this stuff here, and we still got the grade bar. So number 4 here, this is the grade bar. This tells you the length in your track. Okay. So the marker track is located above the first track of the arranger. So this marker can be positioned there. You see that the marker is positioned here, and you also your range can be positioned here as well. Above the gray bar, display the project time in a selected unit of measurements. Range can also be selected. I just said that range can also be selected here as well. Okay. And then it has a key thing that we always want to make sure we don't be skipping over is this. Whenever they have like a highlighted portion, there is where the audio and MIDI objects are arranged on the tracks of the project. Around it, there's a scroll bar and other controls to move the visible section of the project in the arranger. So of course it's trying to tell us that this is where we set our, this is where we do our stuff. MIDI, audio, this is where we work with everything. Chop, cut, mix, do everything we need to do. Okay. Now we also have the track head in the same 4. So the let me go back to, so the track head contains all the controls for a track, such as mute and solo function. Okay, so we're gonna mute, solo. Okay, you can record, you can activate the recording thing here to if you want to record. Okay, let's see. Check. Well, I'm not near my other microphone, so I don't know if it's gonna. Sometimes too, I can't really get my recording to go with my control surfaces on. Something about that I don't understand it. So yeah, we can talk about that one later. Okay. And at higher vertical zoom, some elements are hidden. Okay, so if you zoom in more, it will be, some of the stuff will not be present. More information about the individual controls if we go to page 41, which when we have time, we'll kind of go to that. So uncheck. Okay, this is for monitoring. Okay. The track editor. Track editor is located on the far left of the track head. This lets you access all important settings for the track, for the selected track. More information about the individual controls can be found on the track editor, which is on page 37. And we'll get to go to that in a little bit. So from 4, I'm guessing 4, and then track is 5. So it takes it all the way down to 7 to 8. Okay, so 7. It's kind of interesting how they, let me bring you to the screen here. Now, if you were to count correctly, the arranger, which is 5, which is this. Oh, let me go back here again. The arranger, but they have no number for it, so that would have been considered to be 5. Okay, and then no, the arranger, which would have been considered to be 5. So the track head would have been 6, which was what we were looking at over here. The track head 6. And then track editor would have been 7. Okay, let's look at it. See, track editor. It's on the far left track, on the far left, the track heads. Okay. That's very interesting. Oh, I didn't switch my thing over. So the track head, it lets you access all important settings for the selected track. That's very, very nice. Nice. Let's switch it back over to this side, and then okay. So the track editor, you can access it by coming down here. Okay, and you have all the stuff that they're talking about for main. You have almost the same control here. You have your track head, and the record solo and mono and automated and Paranoma, FX plugins and stuff, and then you have wow, it got everything. So what you want to come in all, or you want just this, it's really up to you, and you can kind of put those settings in. To hide it, you just click this track head button. Boom. So now we'll go to 8 because it didn't number that, so then we're confused. So 8, I think we might have to. 8 is the Docker. So for example, when we click on this track here, like they will double click, this open the Docker menu. Okay, so They said this area display the various manager windows as well as visualization. So if down here will be your visualization down here. Okay. Up here you have all these different, you take that out, you can put it back. That's the Docker. You can down display, you can move it, you can put it back. Visualization, you can put it up here, or you can bring it back. Okay. That's pretty much what you're talking about, the Dockers. Down here though, if you don't have the Docker, it would be down here. Sorry, so I apologize about this one here. Because that would just be video to view for a guy that will open a video project. Okay. And we'll get to enjoy all these other good stuff, all these object editing. We already went through that one. MIDI, this is where you come to put in your MIDI and MIDI stuff, and then files to, bring in things that you want to bring in, objects, tracks. These are all the objects that's in your session. These are all the tracks. Remember, we had the video stuff at one point in time. All right, so we are going to go to the next one. 9 is the transport control. 9. So if you come down here, your transport control, you can put it here too as well. This will be your transport control, or you can take it from there and you can dock it down here. It's up to you, whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. These are the markers and these are ranges. Okay. All right. So that's the that's the transport, and then you have the status display. Okay. That would be everything. If I was to close this window here and I was to probably try to get rid of this guy and put him. On this. You get to see all the loudness. I'm just trying to flip between this because you will eventually get to know. So you have separate options. Big icon is big icon. Default is just what usually the software come with. If you want, you can take this away so you can have a little bit more space, and then you can also click away this screen here, and then if you want, you can kind of move this to another area. But in order for you to really open the visualization, you actually have to open those, or you can go to your mastering, which is where you get to see your visualization of your EQ. Okay, then you have everything that you need here to be able to visualize. I usually don't do this during editing, mixing. I don't do like composing, recording, editing, and mixing. I don't really use this. I'm usually on default all the time. And then when I start to master, I tend to pull this up. Sometime once in a while, I might pull it up doing like when I'm starting to get things on my mix bus. After I'm done mixing, I'm putting things on my mix bus to kind of make it sound okay. Then I'll probably open this up to kind of get an idea and a feel. So in a lump sum, this is pretty much I think this pretty much cover the menu as well. Menus of all the things that we just went over. Yeah, I think that pretty much cover everything. It covers the toolbars we went to one by one. Yeah, I think we cover pretty much. Yeah, we literally did everything then. So we did too. I wanted to just do the screen. I mean, we just wanted to go to the interface, but we pretty much kind of get it. I mean, of course, we're going to go to a little bit more detail with these stuff, but yeah, we got to do this. I told you that you can search for anything. They're just telling you that you can search low project and so forth. Lower toolbar. That's the one we didn't go over. So I'm sorry, I can show that to you real quickly. Let's go back to the screen. I only show you this button, to switch between. You can go to default, which is where I'm at most of the time because I'm going to be doing MIDIs and and so forth. So this is your workspace. I show you your track editor. You can remove that. Then this, of course, right here is your mixer. Okay, you can exit that out. So for number 5, because we gotta go in order. This is number 5. This is your play cursor. I mean, you already have this here, so you don't really need to address these guys at the bottom here. But that's the play cursor to play from the previous object edge. Okay, and then this one is number 6. It's the play cursor to next object edge. So if you so the first one, if you press that, it's gonna play. It's gonna start playing until you get to the next object, to the edge of the next object, then it will stop. Like, so if you're doing like different verses, different takes, it's gonna do that. But we'll try that doing regular performance. And then this is the play cursor to previous marker. So it's going to keep playing until you get to the previous marker that you have has set. And we'll try all of those when the time comes. And then play cursor to next marker. Okay. And then 9, which is this one right here. This is to show all. If you click it, it should be able to show everything within it. If you're zoomed in all the way, for example, I'm zoomed. Let's just say we drag this project. We drag this project all the way out like this, and we can see it on the screen, right? If we click this, it brings it right back into view. So that's show all. And then 10, this is to show vertically. So for example, if we click on it, okay, it will show all vertically to bring everything so that we can see it vertically. And of course, this will be number 11. Let's go to number 11. Number 11 would be the zoom to range. So if we had a range set, if we were to click this, it will zoom into that range. So for right now, whatever you have loop is considered to be a range. A range is anything from one point to another. So let's say you create this, you do your loop. A loop is considered to be from my understanding, it's a range. So anything in here, and you click this button, you'll be able to just zoom in closer, so you can be able to take a look at that. So that's pretty good. And then 12 is you're going to zoom in vertical range. So make it larger. It just makes the object a little bit larger. Okay. So we can undo that. Let's go to zoom in right away where it says. Okay. Okay, and then we got, of course, we have these guys. This is to zoom in the WAV files. So for example, let's just say we had a recording here and we can't see the waveform that well. If you click this, boom, it makes it bigger. You click this one, it makes it smaller. And then this is to zoom in all the way. You start going one by one. If it was like this and you want to bring it down, you can just click on it now. But if it was like down, 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 and you can just click boom, and it will just, okay. Then we have what's the next one we have? What's it, 15? Oh, well, we did 15. So then the next one we have the overview mode. This one right here. If you click on that, it gives you an overview of the entire project. Okay. And then that same thing we had up there. We had talked about it earlier. Is this the spectrum mode? The spectrum mode display. Okay. So if we were to click that, I don't think anything will happen now, but it is. It's building the graphics. So this is how and then we can zoom in. to get a good spectral mode, but it's for more advanced when we get to that stage, so we can be able to know what we're doing and what all these colors represent. Okay, so next time we'll talk about the editing, but I think before we do that, we're going to take the time. So we ended up on page 34. On page 34. And 34, 34, 34, 34. Yeah. I think the next time now we are going to go through. Okay. I think we went through the program preferences already, but we're just going to take a time to kind of go to the program preferences. Okay. That should probably take about another hour to go to the program preferences. But for now, thank you for tuning in and have a great one. Peace.